So
That's an
he
Indian
said,
name. So.
love to hear some freaking Jeet tell me that my patriotism is causing division in the country.
What you
Jamboy
guys
doesn't.
said.
Jamboy
It,
doesn't get the difference between patriotism and nationalism, and he didn't watch the episode. So you know what,
you should.
Jamboy, go sit down and watch the show, and then come back, and this, Jeet will explain it to you. Any more questions? That's all I have to say about that.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Patriots Table. You know, I didn't expect our nationalism versus patriotism episode to kind of cause so much controversy as it did, Ravi. And boy, the comments we got on this they were. I'm just gonna say they were spicy.
I
We
bet.
almost,
Yeah.
I would say, I'm just gonna say I don't think people really watched the episode that much, or if they did, they really missed the meaning of it because they doubled down on the. I mean, some people just straight up said nationalism is just this wonderful thing, and we need to hold on to that. But nationalism is still just the same as patriotism. And then um, I think there was definitely some race stuff thrown out there too, because apparently somebody of your ethnic background just shouldn't be speaking about patriotism, and you're just not a very
Oh,
good
really?
person to speak on these things. Oh my gosh, yes.
Oh, I
So
wonder where he got that idea, or he or she got that idea from. I have just as
it
much
was
right as
quite
anybody else,
interesting,
right?
right? I mean, once you're an American citizen, you can say whatever the hell
Absolutely.
you
Yeah.
want and can speak to anything that you want. And it's crazy. I actually had to look up some of the racial slurs that were being thrown out there because I'd never heard them before.
Oh, really?
It was quite interesting. So
I bet the
I do
person thought
want
I was from India too. So this is a classic. Uh, I get that a lot. Whoever that was, if he's listening in today, I mean, you're just an idiot who doesn't know where I come from or what I stand for. I don't have to be an American to talk about patriotism and nationalism. It just applies everywhere.
I
Why
was
would I
about to
need
say,
to be?
isn't it a universal
It's
thing?
a
Like
universal
throughout,
thing.
like
Yeah,
I mean, people in Italy can be
sure,
patriotic about,
absolutely.
being an Italian and
Yeah.
everything. So I don't understand why it was a.
It's ignorance. I mean, in one word, right? It's ignorance and it's the inability to accept what is wrong and to, see what's wrong and fix the problem. I mean, they would much rather become part of the problem by refusing to accept that it's a problem. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that, I mean, even today, I just read and reposted it. I just saw that the US is now considering asking people of foreign nationality when they're coming to the US for a vacation, work, or whatever the case may be, that they have to submit a selfie, their family history, and their social media history for 5 years.
Oh.
Okay, now that's being sold as being like, it's for the safety, and, this is how everything gets sold. It's basically saying that, it's for your own good, it's for your
like
safety. We need to
like the
know who's coming
Patriots
in. And
Act,
yeah, to
like
some degree
stuff.
that may be true, but what is going to happen is that that's the first step for us to lose our First Amendment freedom, because
Oh,
that's how
absolutely.
free speech gets nixed,
Mm.
completely. You first
No, it's
put it on somebody
intimidation.
else. Yeah, it's like, and the people who fail to see this and then call us the problem for bringing out the patriotism versus nationalism difference and why you should not be national, by pushing towards nationalism, they need to stop and think for a second, because this is how it started in China. This is how it started everywhere else. Okay, it's first for the foreigners, then they come for you. So good luck, you know. Uh, yeah.
I I don't even think China and Russia doesn't even have stuff that restrictive for people.
No, they
I
well, they
like.
basically don't even allow social media. I mean, I have a Chinese friend, and I just wished her happy birthday, and she just saw her birthday greeting like after she left China. It's like you can't even access social media there. I mean, this is the kind of restrictions that are coming our way down the pipe, and people just seem to like not realize that what's happening elsewhere in the world can happen to us as well because it's the same way they started. Okay, first it's going to be small restriction. I mean, didn't anybody learn anything during COVID? I mean, like first it was like,
Yeah.
yeah, 2 weeks, stand
Yeah.
6 feet apart, they'll be fine. Then wear a mask, then dance around till 10 o'clock and come back later. It's all this stupid nonsense. It looks on the surface, and then all of a sudden, you cannot go anywhere. They arrest you if you're on the beach, wandering in the woods. I mean, you have to stay at home. You're in lockdown. That's it's the way governments and the elite operate. And if you don't get it, uh, I'm sorry, but we are trying to tell you that it's coming and for you to be prepared. And I don't even know at this point how we're going to prepare for it. I think we have, it's at a point where I think they're going to do whatever they want. And that's pretty blatantly obvious from certain countries acting with impunity and not even considering, like, recently I just saw that Israel just walked into the UNHCR headquarters, which is a UN organization, okay, and just ripped the flag down, put the Israeli flag down, confiscated all of their computers. Now, this is, mind you, a UN organization that is covered by UN laws that's residing within their boundaries. I mean, if they can do it to them, they'll do it to anybody.
Mhm.
So this is what we have to be prepared for in the next, several years. If we let this thing go and we kind of coddle the people doing it, and when we, like somehow find excuses to justify what they're doing. I mean, like be it a bombing a boat in the middle of the ocean, calling it a narcotics filled boat or whatever. I mean, like your government never ever tells you the transparent truth. They don't. And if you think they're suddenly doing it, then you need to go see someone about it. Okay, that's the bottom line.
Well, I think
Yeah.
like even during COVID, at least October 2019, we were all talking about what was starting to happen in China. And then you saw California kind of led the way, and we were like, hey, this isn't good. Something's going on. People need to speak up. And nobody did. And then before you knew it, Ohio was under lockdown. So it was like, oh, it was too late. Like nobody listened. Nobody
Yep.
like believed it would happen. It was the same kind of tactic, like, oh, it'll be too late by the time they wake up to anything that's going on. And then like the consequences are great. We're still paying for those consequences.
Well, and the only reason they're getting away with this is they have successfully turned the American people against racial, a whole group of people and hate through fear and bullying and everything. I mean, even some of the stuff I was talking about what people were saying about you, an American citizen, Ravi,
Yeah.
speaking on patriotism versus nationalism, and just because of where you were born, that you can't speak to that. It was really
They got even
dark.
that wrong. That
Yeah,
wasn't where I
right,
was born.
right,
Right.
right. Well, I mean, I want to read some of this, and this is gonna support with some of the stuff we're talking about is why this is working,
They gave
right?
us perfect examples of what we were trying to
Right.
explain is not okay.
So I'm gonna leave. I am gonna name some of these people. I'll leave out last names, but we had Chris, and this is on Facebook on our episode. Said for someone to be here legally, they need our permission or need to be citizens. All others are vermin who need to be removed using whatever violence or force necessary. Yes, I look down my nose at others who come here and expect to be welcome or even tolerated if they haven't followed proper procedures because they are criminals, and yes, even the 92-year-old grandmother. They have no right to crowd my country, causing prices to go higher for creating additional demand that wouldn't otherwise exist. They have no interest in assimilating our culture and many times do not even bother to become fluent in English. They're worthless. I mean, pretty much like you
Like
do.
who talks like that? Like, uh,
So basically, the guy never didn't watch a second of the episode because we covered
I
pretty much all of
guess.
that in there, right? I mean, like
Right.
we talked about all of that, and we specifically said people shouldn't come here illegally. I mean, we're fine with that, but you cannot say. I mean, like I can guarantee you that I can probably beat Chris on an English writing competition. Maybe we should put the challenge out. And English is my second language. I speak other languages too, which I'm pretty sure Chris doesn't, because that's what this is all about, right? I mean, so being nationalistic. I mean, you're chest thumping here, and I'm pretty. That comment sounds very familiar. I'm sure I was on that thread somewhere, because I do remember responding to that, because you know assimilation is one thing, and we talked about this at length there. I mean, like I'm fully assimilated. I mean, you guys know me well better than anybody else out on the Facebook world. I am fully assimilated to this country. I mean, I'm a citizen. I'm married to an American. I mean, uh, I don't know how much else. I mean, I speak the language. I've held jobs in this country. I mean, everything American. I mean, yeah, I love all of that stuff. But that doesn't mean I'm going to leave my culture, which is 100 times older than, or at least 10 times older than yours. I mean, I come from a country which has a 3,500-year history. I'm not going to just forget that just because I wanted to assimilate into a different culture. I would take both cultures. So I have the privilege of having both cultures and, enjoying both. My heritage, I'm never going to lay down just because some idiot on Facebook tells me that I have to just leave everything and become totally American and drink beer and eat, hot dogs and chest thump all day long. In fact, I don't do either of those things,
Do you
all
watch
three of them.
Sunday football, Ravi?
I
Do you
don't
watch
actually. I
Sunday
hate
football? Oh
football.
my gosh.
I mean,
See,
if
that's
we,
that's not assimilating. I can't
I'm
believe it.
telling
Oh,
you. I mean,
you're
if
an
that's the case, then yeah, sure, guilty as charged. I'm not a fan of football, and I don't watch football. I mean, if it's baseball, I mean, I've been to baseball games, and baseball I can tolerate.
Oh, the
But
great American
that's not the
pastime. I
point.
got okay. You've assimilated some, I guess. I know it's not
I
the point,
guess.
and
I mean,
it's just it's this
yeah,
is
that's
how
good enough.
petty and stupid this
It
is.
is.
Like, and I think some of the best like little short comments we got was definitely on TikTok, and this is where I had to look up these racial slurs. Jamboy said he loves to
handle was
hear,
that?
yeah,
I'm
love
usually
to
called
hear
Chocolate Boy, but
some
okay, yeah, I'll take Jam.
chocolate boy. No, that's his handle. His user is
Oh,
Jamboy.
that's
Love
his
to
Jam.
hear
Okay.
some freaking Jeet, and I didn't even know what Jeet meant. I guess that is a racial slur for so people don't have to look it up. That's just a racial slur for Southern Asian people.
Okay.
So
I had no idea too. I am from South
yeah.
Asia, but I'm not from where he thinks I am. I'm pretty
Mm.
sure of that. So
Yeah.
some poor Ranjit somewhere got slurred. I don't care.
Right? I've heard the term Ranjit, but not just Jeet.
Yeah,
So
that's an
he
Indian
said,
name. So.
love to hear some freaking Jeet tell me that my patriotism is causing division in the country. What a
That's not what
joke
you
this
said on the
place has
episode.
become.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Well,
that's not
So
obviously
even what you guys
Jamboy
said.
it,
doesn't get the difference between patriotism and nationalism, and he didn't watch the episode. So you know what,
he should.
Jamboy, go sit down and watch the show, and then come back, and this Jeet will explain it to you. If you have any more questions, that's all I have to say about that. I'm
Another
gonna make a
comment.
handle Chocolate Boy, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
go troll his page.
This next person was For Our People says, "What does it matter? A black bear born in Antarctica doesn't make it a polar bear. Neither does Jeet living in my country." So,
What?
he's comparing
What?
you being a black bear in Antarctica and calling yourself a polar bear, saying you're an American, apparently.
Have you not realized that
What
America
is
is a
that? What does
melting
that
pot?
analogy even mean? Black
It doesn't even
bears,
make
are not
sense.
born in Antarctica, so that's unless you export the
Uh,
black bear,
I,
right?
I, I guess. Next one. I thought this was a good one. This person's handle is Dr. Disinformation 12.
Oh dear.
Says, I'm just translating this as please don't make me go home. Me going home is bad. So apparently
Actually,
yeah,
that's not
you're
true
scared of
either.
being sent home, Ravi, I guess.
I guess. I mean, you give me one chance. I mean, that's not going to be a huge problem.
Now, this next comment was the one comment that I don't agree with, but it wasn't an insult. It was just an opinion. Wanderer says nationalism doesn't cause division, mass immigration, and incompatible peoples did. So
I mean, incompatible with what or whom?
I
I
believe,
mean,
I mean, I don't want to, the
that's a
saying,
good point,
assuming
though. I
makes an
mean,
ass out of you and me, but I'm just going to assume he's talking about people coming here and not assimilating to the Christian culture that we have here,
okay,
that they say. So I'm assuming that's what he's referring to,
yeah.
but that's still, that's not, that doesn't work here. So, and this, I guess this can lead into another point I wanted to bring up, which seems like to be a big topic of conversation, is this assimilation thing.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Coming here, like America isn't this whole you have to be a Christian and have to believe
Right.
our Christian values and this and that. Like, people, there's a misrepresentation. America was founded by a bunch of European Protestants who just wanted to
Mhm.
worship God how they saw fit.
Yeah,
And there
yeah.
was other people who were not Christians, and became a very big thing. And when Charlie Kirk said this, that, a lot of states' constitutions and stuff required a declaration of faith. That did not say a declaration of faith to Jesus or any specific God.
Uh-huh.
It said you had to have a declaration of faith in something, in a morality, that you had a sense of morals, right?
Right.
Whatever that faith was. But
I mean, you could
in
worship a
America,
rock, basically,
right, right.
right?
But in America, you have the freedom to worship who you want, how you want, as long as it's within the confines of the law. You can't kill
Including a rock.
anybody, including The
Let's
Rock,
make that clear.
So this
Because some
whole
of us
thing
do.
that people, if you want to come here, you need to go to church on Sunday and you need to believe. And here's where I want to say that this is for anybody who's willing to just maybe get out of this programming that Americans have gone through. Don't you find it weird that this is only about Muslims and people of the Islamic faith? Nobody's talking about Buddhists
Uh-huh.
or Hindus or anything from Asian,
Satanists.
different Asian cultures, Satanists, or even, different sects of even Christianity that that isn't really big in this country. None of that is the problem. It's very targeted against a specific, I would even say, minority
Uh-huh.
group in this country, because Muslims only account for about around 4 million, and that's citizens. So that's a very, very small number of people. Where's the outcry of the Buddhists assimilating to this culture? So, like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
If you can get out of the programming, why is it this very targeted group of people? And then look at what's going on in the world. Look what America's involved in. Look at Israel. Look at all this stuff, and you can kind of put the pieces
Oh, you can put
together.
two and two together. Yeah.
It's
Well,
it's
of
it's
course.
it's very easy to see that there is a tactic here,
Well, it's a
and
manipulative tactic because they can't get you to love what Israel's doing anymore. So it's easier for them to get you to hate someone else because you can't
Uh-huh.
get you to love them
Exactly.
now.
Yeah.
It's typical manipulation. This is a
yeah,
very easy tactic to pick out of a book if you wanted to look up that.
and
The
and
same
Andrea,
people are
I
pushing the agenda is being pushed by the same people, right? So it's all this whole
right,
news story about how America was founded on Judeo-Christian values, which is
Which
total
is an
BS. America was
oxymoron.
not
Like if you're a
found,
Christian, that doesn't even
yeah,
make
on
sense.
Judeo-Christian values. It was founded on Protestant and Catholic values. Okay, on
right.
the backs of people who were 30% Muslim, who were slaves from Africa. So just stop talking about it. This is being told by the same people. It's the same propaganda machine that is pushing this Judeo-Christian stuff in this country that is dividing and causing this whole problem, and pushing the Muslim hate as well. And Andrea, I think you just said it, hit the nail right on the head. That's exactly why, because people are starting to see and people are starting to talk about what is going on with this,
I
people,
mean, we
the
even saw
Zionists.
this during COVID, right? So we
Yeah,
had COVID going on. We had all this chaos, right? And they couldn't explain away their numbers and this and that. And then you get into it, and it's all of a sudden you need to hate the people that didn't get the vaccine and won't wear
yeah.
masks. We need you to hate
Mm,
somebody. If we can
right.
get all of your focus off us, so you can hate somebody and focus your energy there, we can get away with whatever we want.
Well, and
That's
I
it's
would
been
say
done
it
over and over
wasn't
again.
even as big as the people who weren't getting the COVID vaccine or the mask, the masking. The very first big hate thing that they pushed during COVID was the George Floyd stuff, and then this
Uh,
that race war that was going.
yeah,
That's
the
because
Black Lives
people,
Matters.
yeah, that
Yeah.
that cities were burning over this
Uh-huh.
stuff as people were,
Oh,
and
and
about
those of us that protested, remember the protests? You would have the violent protests, and those were safe and fine. And COVID didn't spread at those protests, and then we would show up in protests, and it was, oh, they're spreading COVID everywhere, and we're all going, what?
Mhm.
Excuse
right,
me?
Yeah.
right. No, it was a joke, and I really think that it's pretty easy to see the agenda behind, and I want to get to a video from our good old Huckabee, Israel's number one cheerleader, but going back to the agenda being pushed and them not going against, certain other racial groups. And Ravi, to your point, it's the same people who are profiting off of this. Like
Uh-huh.
if you want to follow the money, it's really easy to see the people who are either getting money from APAC, who are involved with high tech. You see, it's all money's. There's billions and billions of dollars evolved around this stuff, and I think uh, I think this clip I want to share with Mr. Mike Huckabee on what he's calling for will show everybody here.
But I say to you that those who are saying things that are negative about Israel that are not true, they have the free speech right to say them, but you have the free speech responsibility to push back, stand up, speak up, and say, not in this country. America will not stand silent. We need the pulpits of America to be on fire with truth, not propaganda. Nobody is asking you to go back to America and tell some story made up about Israel. Nobody's asking you to go and present some version of history that doesn't exist. Simply being asked to go back and tell the truth. And tell it from the scriptures. Because you could tell it from the front pages of the New York Slimes, and it would not be the truth. But if you tell it from the holy word of the holy God, you will be telling the truth, and the scripture may very visibly say that this is the land that God gave to the Jewish people. And he said, he will bless those who bless Israel, but he will curse those who curse Israel.
Oh my
Ooh.
I can't.
So they're basically using religion to sell a political agenda. I
But
mean,
it
in
doesn't
one
even
sentence.
work. Like I'm okay.
I
I
mean, it's
think we've hit
working.
this.
I'm sorry, a little bit.
No, it's working. What they're doing is working, but
Yeah.
what they're selling, I think we've hit this a couple times. Christianity and Judaism is like oil and water. They don't make what the premises of the belief, the foundations of that belief system do not mix. I mean, you're there. We played another clip a while back showing what that belief system actually thinks about people who aren't of that heritage, and you're essentially animals to them.
Uh,
You're essentially animals to them. If you side with them and help them, you are you can be their servants, but they're going to inherit the earth and all this stuff like that. And it sounds like a lot of the stuff that they say the Muslims and Islam
He's
wants to
going to
do
do,
with
yeah,
people is
right,
some of the stuff that they believe. It's
yeah.
like you have that projection of their own stuff going on there, but there is very few things, and they keep talking about the Bible, and like there's saying those who bless Israel will be blessed, okay? So I would say those who bless anybody in their life will be blessed. But it has nothing to do with the government, the modern day state of
Yeah.
Israel.
Or the
But if you
Zionists.
look at or Zionism as a whole, but one thing that Christians in this country, really stand on is the new covenant, the New Testament after Jesus was killed. Before was the old covenant. That's why, Christians can eat pork and don't have
Well,
to sacrifice sheep and stuff. So nothing in the New Testament says anything about this stuff, and exactly says the exact opposite about people being equal, and what Jesus did was for everybody. So I just don't see how we get this mix of it's very twisted, is you're
I
gaslighting
think I
people.
think we have to, like, when we say Christians, we have to make a distinction here, because I don't think, like, I mean, there are I mean, I just talked to the pastor recently, and I mean, there are Christians who realize what's going on and they don't support it. I mean, these are these evangelical Christians who are Christian Zionists who, like, literally interpret the Old Testament of the Bible word to word and think that those all of those things are prophecies, and therefore they have to carry those out or whatever. Those are the people who are actually supporting these. I mean, the guy who was on there just now talking, is that's what he's talking about. So, like you said, I mean, the people who are going off of the New Testament, those people know what's going on. I mean, so there's a section of Christians who know the reality or the truth, and then there's a section of Christians who are completely, you know, I don't know,
I
brainwashed,
Uh,
mean,
blindsided. You
I
can
grew
call it
up
whatever
I'll
you
in
want.
that part.
I
Like,
was
in my family, we never believed the state of Israel was anything to do with our faith.
Right.
Like, we grew up in a this is what Jesus taught. We follow this. We believe in this. This is a great example for how to live our lives, and that was it. Like, there was no, oh, we're going to support a country in the Middle East somewhere with like with a government running, and the government somehow holy. Are you kidding me? Is
And then
any
a
I had
government
government who
the
was
really?
killing around people. I mean, that's not supported anywhere in any religion or any place in the Bible. I mean, that's
see,
like
I had
really
the exact opposite experience because I was in a very New Testament church, and Israel was prayed for every Sunday from the pulpit, and it was talked about those who bless Israel will be blessed and stuff like that. Like it was very, but they weren't pushing a bunch of, Zionist stuff, and then especially, and this was a long time ago, but that was in there. Like there's bits of that indoctrinated into, and I don't want to rope all Christians in on the
no.
Zionist stuff, but I do think there has been a level of brainwashing amongst the church that somehow the modern day state of Israel, whether it be because of where it is geographically and the land and this and that, but somehow there's some kind of ties or reference that to the Jewish people of the Old Testament, the Israelites of the Old Testament, and they would pray as such on Sunday about that, and that was kind of a normal thing. That's what I was raised in, and it was a very New Testament type thing. So I guess that just goes to show you how long and how deep this rooted this stuff is in just American culture now in society, that's just made to be the norm, and you just don't really question it. I mean, when I was raised in it, you just didn't question it. That's just what it was.
Yeah,
Israel
and that
was that.
that would have been fine too. Like, if the Jewish people are, like, scattered all around the world, right? I mean, so those are. I mean, I have no problem with anything to do with any issues with the Jewish people. And even Israel, I mean, if they wanted to call that their home, I mean, got that land and they wanted to, call that whatever the chosen place or that's fine. But this expansion, I mean, the Zionist part of it comes in where now they want to bomb everything around them and just kind of like expand their reach into other, countries around them and then consider everybody other than themselves, worthless vermin, and they're killing everything and everyone in their path to achieve that. I mean, the ethnic cleansing part, the bombing of countries, sovereign nations to further their agenda and their outreach and their land. That's the problem. So, like even a New Testament church, if they say like, oh, bless Israel, that's fine as long as we're not blessing the bullshit that the Israeli government is carrying out right now in Gaza and around
And
the
our tax dollars are paying for. I mean,
yeah.
let's just be honest. Like if the Middle East, if we weren't involved in the Middle East, I'd be sitting there saying that's not my problem. Like if they're all over there fighting wars, fighting over land, if my tax dollars weren't going there, I'd be like, okay, well, that's not mine to fix. My country's a mess. Like everybody here needs help.
Yeah.
But the thing is, that's not the case. Now it's even worse because we're funding it. Israel is using our money to do it, which is why it's a big deal. Because I always get the comment, why aren't you talking about other genocides? Well, if I'm not funding the genocide over there, I can't really worry about that right now. I'm worried about the one I'm funding. And that makes me partly responsible.
I mean,
And
it
why are
goes
we
even
so quick
even
to talk
further.
about something else to take
Oh yeah,
the
It's
fact
it's
off of what
either
is like people? Well, what about the Christians in Africa? That's horrible that people were dying, but why can't we talk about the people? Why do you have to bring up that to justify this or to
right.
not feel bad about it?
And we're not only funding genocide and ethnic cleansing. I mean, that some of that money comes back into our country to fund our politicians to vote for that. So everybody who takes money from these lobbies
That's what I
like
have to say.
APAC, I mean, you have blood on your hands. I mean, I'm going to say this out, clearly. You're not exempt from any of this stuff because it's the same money that's coming back. So we are pretty much paying
Mhm.
ourselves to some degree. And, to your point, Andrea, half the problems are even, I would even say like 80 to 90% of the problems in the Middle East, we caused it. Most of the
It's on
time, it's the
purpose.
United States involvement that causes problems. I mean, like, we do it for political, geopolitical, economic, and whatever resource reasons. I mean, we all
I
to help
mean,
our allies.
well, and then we also have done a lot to support regime changes that we lie about. I mean, look at
Yeah.
Ukraine back in 2014, and we have the guy with spandex pants, so-called president of Ukraine now, that we helped instill into their government. I
Yeah.
mean, we have other examples of this. You have Syria. So we're not helping, we're destabilizing and planting puppets in place in these countries. That's not freedom. That's not setting people free for democracy. I had someone in my
It's
Democracy.
not
inbox
patriotic to
last week.
support that. I mean, and
No,
I
and
have
I
to
had
say this. I
someone,
mean, go ahead.
yeah,
I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I had someone in my inbox about Venezuela the other day, like, oh, they need set free over there. I'm like, excuse me, one, that's not our job, and that is not what's happening. And please, can you read a little bit of history, just a teeny bit? It's
Yeah.
not hard. Like, people need to just start like doing some work, like do some work.
And this is like the major threat. I mean, like, if people don't realize it, like, while we are fighting and, spewing hate against Jeets and Muslims and everybody else around, the real problem is like China and Russia. I mean, like, they are literally surrounding us. I mean, one of the biggest problems that's going on right now, which, I think a retired Marine or somebody who was working at the CIA posted like put some stuff out, which I think I have some of the excerpts on my page. The reason why we're going to war. I mean, everybody thinks that it's about narcotics, right? I mean, yeah, I'm sure there is some
Oh
of
my
that
gosh.
involved because
Like
they always
Don't
need a
even get me
reason. It's
started with
like
the numbers.
having the weapons
no,
of mass destruction to go bomb Iraq. I mean, like, there were no weapons of mass destruction. We destabilized that country and caused a massive problem for us and them and everybody in that region, for that matter, right? So it's the same thing. And people don't realize this. Like, China has been quietly, while we are fighting and we are funding wars around the world and, like, literally letting our country fall to ruin, they've been rebuilding what is known as the Silk Route. So they have like built bridges, ports, roads, freeways through all of Central and South Asia. And now they are actually starting to do that in Venezuela. And all of a sudden we wake up and we found out we're surrounded. I mean, we can't If you go to war,
Mhm.
and you saw what that Chinese guy said on TV, on their TV, that China will never fire the first shot, but they will fire the second one, and
They
you
won't
won't
let you
survive.
fire a second one. Yeah, I mean, and
You know?
I want to touch on that Venezuela stuff because everybody's focused on a stupid boat, a
Yeah.
boat, and saying it's drugs. Like this is how easily manipulated people are. What is so special about Venezuela? I will tell you what's so special about Venezuela. It is ranked #1 in the world for having the largest crude oil reserve.
Right.
It has more than 5 times the amount of reserves than the US and double what Saudi Arabia has. Its estimates are between 303 and 304 billion barrels of oil. Like, come on. Like that's
Can't you
just
see through this?
I mean, really, it's about drugs. Really, it's about drugs. Just is like it was about weapons of mass destruction going to the Middle East. It wasn't about oil or regime changes or anything like that. And I think for the most part, a lot of Americans have been, yeah, the Middle East wasn't just about weapons of mass destruction. We were going there for other reasons, but two birds with one stone type thing, and that's on the conservative end, right? This whole Venezuela thing is a joke and has been years in the making.
Oh yeah, more than a decade, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think it's like 12 or 13 years,
Yep.
somewhere around there. So I guarantee you, most of the people that are buying this whole drug thing and this drug boat and are praising Trump, they blew up the drug boat, yeah, save America, didn't know
They
jack
don't have a
shit
clue.
about the
I
oil.
mean, and I did post a podcast episode from last week on my page, and of course I got a trove of people. But one of the things I noticed on there is no one could stay on topic to the discussion. There was no one was able to have the discussion on the episode itself. It was deflection and why what you guys were talking about was not okay and not allowed, basically, and not and like wrong. And I just find it crazy as you see this reactive state, and and 5 of the people on that feed almost said the exact same thing in a different way. So when I see this pattern, social media and society, like I pay attention to patterns. It's like, oh, you're all regurgitating what you heard, either through one of your talking heads, a politician, or the media. You can't even formulate a conversation without repeating that same wording. So that tells you you're being fed propaganda. Like you need to really step back and go, wow, I'm actually sounding like everybody else here saying the same exact thing in the same tone. That's a good sign that you're not getting the truth and you don't know what you're speaking to.
I think we touched a little bit on that on
Yeah.
our episode on emotional intelligence. If you're having a debate, which debate's great, debate is good and healthy, but if you are having a debate and you cannot stay on topic and actually debate that topic and you're finding yourself jumping from topic to topic to topic to try and control the conversation or find where you're right, you might need to take a step back and be, whoa, am I just regurgitating things I've heard? Am I just parroting what this politician or that politician said? Because nobody who is thinking critically or is diving into something or even knows a lot about a topic just does that. You have to actually know what you're talking about to have an intellectual conversation on stuff. And most people, most intelligent people, if there's something that they didn't know about, a fact they didn't know about, they'll go, huh, I didn't know that. I'll have to look into that.
Well, I have to
And
now say
that's
this.
not admitting, that's not even admitting
Uh,
or saying you're wrong on something to say, oh, I didn't hear about that. I'll have to look into that. That's being an intelligent person and wanting to have all the facts on something before you keep on talking about it. I mean, that's
yeah, like
completely normal.
just like you went up and looked up that slur, right?
Right, right.
True.
See,
Hey,
your
hey
intelligence
guys, over
don't.
the year, the slur there, you got that one, Robbie, but I got a new one that isn't really a slur, I guess, but I got called a boomer on that feed.
Oh
I mean,
boy,
I'm a
Wow.
boomer
that's
now.
like
That was an
that's
insult.
like a double whammy.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Right?
now I'm a boomer, and I'm like, did you really like, am I a boomer because I can speak intelligently? Is that what we're getting at here? Because this guy was just spiraling. He called me a retard too. But yeah, that's my latest one. You got Jeet and I got boomer.
Oh, I think most of the boomers spend a lot of time actually, investigating stuff, and we lived through a lot of this that the new generation is just waking up to. Like I remember, I mean, I'm the last of the boomers, so anybody can call me a boomer, and I am a boomer, and I'm proud of it. And
Yeah.
that's like I was studying American geopolitics in the 70s, and I was shaking my head back then when they were starting to do this nonsense with arming rebels in the northern regions of Afghanistan. I mean, like, what the hell are they doing? I mean, this is like, you never arm rebels to fight your cause because they're going to take those arms and fight you in the end, which is what happened. So in 79, we armed the Mujahideen to fight the Russians, and then they became the Taliban. So, America has never had a good policy anywhere in the Middle East. And for that matter, I don't think anywhere around the world when it comes to, like what you mentioned, Andrea, regime change, going after resources and political and helping our allies. I mean, most of the wars we
And
have
our
carried
government
out in the
lying to
Middle East,
everybody here at
yeah,
home
it's for
about it.
Israel. I mean, we destroyed Iraq for Israel. I mean, we just went and bombed Iran for Israel, and then sat back and watched them bomb Qatar, which is really funny because I just saw somebody there was a discussion about how Israel humiliates themselves every time they try to bomb the leadership of Hamas. And this is how they do it. And the US has done this repeatedly too. They invite them for peace talks and they bomb the building that they come into. But people you do this too many times, people figure it out. So Hamas was never in that building that they bombed in Qatar. So now they look like total idiots bombing the one ally that we have. I mean, the US has the largest military base in Qatar, and I fly through Qatar a lot when I go back home. I mean, it's a prosperous country, and we, Trump looks like an idiot too, because now what is he going to do? Is he going to tell Netanyahu cut it out? No, they just shoved it under the rug. You can only
Yeah.
say oops so many times, and after a while, people start to realize what you're doing. Okay, and
Well, at this
that's
point, they don't even say oops anymore.
oh
Like
no, they
we don't
don't.
They
even
don't admit they're
say
wrong. Are you kidding me?
No,
no. They what Trump said not long after, like one of the next thing was how he was bragging about how whatever BB needed, he got. Didn't even know
yeah,
the type of missiles he was sending over there, but he got him to him.
If he
yeah,
means
I
you did
know. I mean
murder more
that's so
innocent people,
childish,
you got
right?
it. I mean, it's
And the
disgusting.
reason I think why even Israel doesn't really care, or they don't hide anything anymore, they just say it in the open, is because they have now, funded the largest propaganda machine ever to exist on the planet, right? I mean, they've
Oh my gosh.
assigned
It's
millions of dollars and
that we know about. That we know
well,
about.
yeah. I mean, well, they openly say this. I mean, Hasbara is, whatever
We
their
we
propaganda of.
we talked about it on the show with
We
what
did, yeah. But now they're taking it
what's
to
that?
like even greater heights. And I don't know if you have that clip that we thought we shared. If we can,
I mean, the
like talk
pastor
about it.
referred to his second wife as being Israel.
Yeah. Let's talk about this pastor and there's another woman in his life.
I can't.
I'm so thankful to all of you that have been here, but there's somebody that I never get to be with in an event like this, my beloved wife, Carolyn. So I want you to stand, Carolyn. Carolyn is totally selfless. And when I married her, I said, I have to be honest. There's another woman in my life. She said, what? I said, Israel. I love her so much.
So
I have to be with her a lot. She said, honey, I will
so,
let you do that.
I
But
can't.
if you
Why are you
ever
making
call
me watch
me on the
this?
phone, you are dead.
I just pause it. Like
So stupid.
It's so insane to me. Like, why would you even say this thinking this was going to make you look good? You look stupid. Let's
Well,
just say like a
when you're in the
stupid.
middle of idiots, I mean, you don't have to do
I mean,
too
yeah,
much to
true.
look good, right? I mean,
I I'm not even going to hurt the
I
rest of our
can't.
listeners with a 5-minute clip
The
of that.
rest of that.
That gets the point I was trying to make across. Like, one, that was the most fake, disingenuous thing ever. Like, you can tell this pastor was just trying to get on BB's good side. Like, hey, I'm your best pastor to do this for you, BB. Like, to choose me type thing. Like, it was so cringe to think that he's just trying to coddle to Israel. Like, that the amount of brown
well,
nosing. I think
well,
that's the term I'm looking for. Brown nosing.
he's basically, he's there. I mean, like this is the founder of Friends of Zion, Dr. Mike Evans, right? So
Mhm.
this guy pretty much, he's a puppet and a mouthpiece for the Zionist cause. I mean, it's not even about Israel. I mean, it's the Zionist cause. And the reason why, I mean, we should probably mention the reason why they were there. I mean, they pretty much had like 1,000 Christian Zionist pastors that they were
Mhm.
training on how to come back to the United States and to use their pulpit as a source of propaganda to disseminate among the church going, public and especially
That's
the
what
younger generation.
Huckabee was calling for in the
Yeah.
previous video. Was
So,
for
and then
that.
And
they
that shouldn't.
mentioned that there were like 2,000 people who applied and they just bought in 1,000. And so there's maybe people falling over to go there and get indoctrinated to come back here and, spread the propaganda. But
And
the
get their
bigger
7K
thing,
or so and more.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's not even the point. So like, I watched the whole video and there were four things that I wanted to, a couple of things that I wanted to mention with that. So the reason the 1,000 were there was to go back and teach 100,000 pastors. So this is like
Mhm.
they're causing a massive network of Christian Zionist pastors to start the propaganda machine because they know that the only way they can win this is but through propaganda. I mean, like when people use propaganda, you know that it's not real. I mean, they're pushing something that is not real on people, right? But the bigger problem was that they actually contracted with or paid the owner of Blackboard. Now, I don't know if you guys are aware of Blackboard, but Blackboard is basically a teaching tool that is being
Mhm.
used at many of these liberal arts colleges in the US, like
Mhm.
Harvard, Yale, these big schools use it, right? So when Blackboard is now owned by the Israel lobby and they are putting money into it, guess what happens? I mean, the stuff that comes out of there into the students is now going to contain propaganda. Okay.
Yep.
And the third thing they said was they're going to build, so they have a museum, I guess, in there, it's just the Museum of Zion or whatever. And they're going to create a wing for Donald J. Trump because he is the best president ever for the Zionist cause. I don't remember hearing
Gross.
Donald J. Trump tell me when he was campaigning that he was campaigning for Israel, because if he did that, he would not have got my vote any one of those
No.
3 times I voted for him. So he didn't, right? So now that should open a lot of people's eyes right there. And they made it very clear that the 21st century you win wars through the media and not
Mhm.
through dropping bombs, even though they are dropping bombs and killing people too. But the media war is going to be the focus in the next 5 years. So think about this. I mean, I already see this. I mean, I see at least 40 like Israel propaganda sponsored websites or pages on Facebook, and you cannot
Mhm.
even block them. Like you try to block them, and
No.
and Facebook pops a message up saying something went wrong. Try again later. I mean, like,
Mhm.
no, nothing went wrong. You assholes are not letting
Well,
me block that page, right?
even on X though, X is like really bad now. I'm like, what is going on with Elon? Because I'm scrolling and it's just propaganda, Israel this, Israel that. I'm like,
Yeah.
I would like to see the people I actually like follow on here and in my country. And I got a bunch of heads of Israel on my page. I'm like, I don't follow these guys. Like, why are they on my page? I don't want to see what they're saying. I don't. Like, it's so
Well,
psycho.
so on X, basically they're not. I mean, technically, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think they are censoring either side, right? So you can post. I mean, I see a lot of posts going against that as well as the
I don't on
propaganda.
mine, but
So people can figure out what's what, right? But on
hmm
Facebook, you post anything against Israel, that does not get shown. Like I tag 21
oh yeah,
people and I follow up with them, and only like 3 people have seen my post. And I can only
hmm
tag 21. I mean, I know most people can tag 99. My page can only
hmm
tag 21 people. Beyond that, I don't. I only get pages to tag. No
yeah.
people can be tagged. I don't know why. Well, I kind of know why, but whatever. So this is the problem, right? So you can now see that they are going to push really hard because they are targeting the young generation. And Facebook is a bad place for that. So I'm pretty sure this is why they bought TikTok, because
hmm
very few of Gen Z and Gen Alpha kids are on Facebook. Uh, I think past the millennial generation, nobody really cares about Facebook anymore, and the boomers are going to be soon history, so they don't even care. I mean, like they are targeting more of the younger generation. So they are going to be seeing a lot of, pro-Israel, pro-Zionist propaganda and like playing victim. I see a lot of that stuff and I keep trying to block them, but most often I don't succeed because, Facebook doesn't want me to block them and they keep showing the same page over and over again. Not that it's going to change my mind, but there could be some people whose minds are getting changed. So I don't even know like how people are going to stop that from happening.
Yeah. I don't know. My page is bad. I can't even block people. I had some guy harassing me the other day to the point where it's like, oh, I need to block this person, and Facebook would not let me. So seems like it's free game
Yeah, those
now.
are paid
Sure.
paid trolls, right? I mean, you can probably pay
Yeah.
your tax dollars probably pay for the troll to be on Facebook
hmm
because I'm sure they're
Oh
funded
yeah.
by some, lobby.
Oh, I mean, you see evidence of it, like even with the comments we read off earlier, some of the stuff didn't even pertain to what we were talking about. It's just it's just the propaganda to try and shut you up, get other people who might be looking to not see what we're actually trying to say. It's another tactic. It's another thing, and I even wonder like how many of these accounts are actually people. You know, how
Yeah, I
many
mean,
of
they
them
could
are
be
just
bots. I
just
mean, for sure.
bots,
Yeah.
AI, different stuff like that. I mean, it's not too far fetched to think. I mean, I've seen some of this. I think a lot of us have seen some of the accounts even on X that are openly like Zionist accounts that don't even have a person as their profile picture. It's some weird
Yeah.
like wolf dressed up in like Israel's star
That's
clothing or something,
appropriate.
and they
Maybe a
got
lion.
like a lion or yeah, a
Yeah.
wolf or a lion. I've seen, well, the one I saw was like some werewolf, and they all got between like 20 to 100,000 followers, and that's it.
Mhm. Yeah,
And
yeah.
they're all posting the propaganda stuff and trashing and stuff like that. So you see that and I think we've talked about this before. It's a change of tactic. You're not really silencing
No.
anybody anymore. And I think and Netanyahu talked about this openly.
hmm
It's
hmm
about drowning them out with so much noise that nobody can even find the truth.
Right.
Nobody's going to
And
really
that's
see
happening
it
now.
or hear it.
Yeah.
And it is. I mean, gosh, I went, I mean, personally, I went from reaching hundreds of thousands of people on my personal page to, it's reduced drastically, and it just from getting shadow banned. People, it could be posting something about my children, and it's still not going to be seen as much.
Uh-huh.
It's become a normal thing, and I think, and it's really weird that all started when we started talking about this stuff on this show here.
Yeah, yeah.
hmm
That's
I'm pretty
that's when it
sure.
all
I mean, like,
started.
I think, everything that you're saying and doing is, it's obviously watched, and it's not that, we care or we are going to be silenced by it. Because that's one of the things, I mean, like, truth is always met by resistance first, and they'll fight you. And I mean, before the acceptance
Right.
comes, there's a lot of phases you got to go through, which are not fun. And you can see this not just with, there's a lot of people out there who are speaking the truth who are getting attacked. And yeah, unfortunately, it's coming from some of the people that were with us fighting the same kind of things when it came to our government and COVID. And now all of a sudden, these people, because they are promised something that, may or may not be real, they're literally just doing everything against what their conscience told them to do, in the last 4 years of COVID. It's mind blowing to me how people can be so easily manipulated into a different way of thinking just by the flick of a switch. They lose their all critical thinking capacity, and all of a sudden it's all about supporting a genocide country to get to heaven, which is, in my opinion, not even a place. That's a whole different story. We can have an episode on that if you want, but you're going to get a lot of hate, and I'll be called
Had
different
to open
things
that
too.
can of worms, Ravi.
Say that again.
Opening that can of worms, Ravi.
Yeah, no. No, I mean, I'm not. It's not in a bad way. I mean, I'm just. I mean, everybody's
No.
entitled to their opinions. I mean, I was, and I
I mean, we
will
could
say
go.
this.
I could be happy to go through the history of religion. I've read every bit of it I
Yeah, of
can,
course.
and the whole idea of
So
hell
have
and
I. I
heaven
mean,
is
so I'm
made
in
up
a
by a
position
tyrant.
where I can easily attest to that because I mean, I was born to a Christian family. I mean, I'm baptized, confirmed. I used to attend church. I read the Bible. I mean, I know what's in there. It's just, different way of interpreting it. But that's besides the point. I mean, but this is what is in front of your eyes in the physical world. I mean, you cannot just brush it off and just cling on to something that has been, that's a faith coming from a faith when the obvious reality is right in front of you. That is what what the problem is and what bugs me when I see what's going around. You
And
cannot
even
support that.
further, on like even with your eyes, but what about your intuition and your heart too? Like, are you
Sure,
people
yeah.
just like denying all their existence to suck it up and say, "Oh, this is fine. They're lying. They're not really murdering and slaughtering children and innocent people over there." And finding any way to justify and act like that's not the case now,
Yeah.
or make it be okay. I mean, you have to be denying parts of yourself, some of the most important parts.
They won't think of it. I mean, I've had people tell me that what is happening there is prophesized in the Bible or whatever. And I'm like,
That's
what?
gross.
Did you just say that stupid thing to me? I mean, like,
Did
are
you
you
admit
awake?
that out loud online? Did you really type that out? Like,
I
did you
did.
really? That's how I feel. I'm like, you did not.
I mean, like, are you really serious? I mean, did you just say
Yeah.
that to me? What if it was your
No.
child? I mean, and the same person will turn around and then the next thing they'll say or do or post is about how the Muslims are going to come in and impose Sharia law and kill us all. I mean, like, guys, that's what the Zionists are going to do to you because, you're not a Jew, so therefore you are, vermin. There's only one guy who's going to get scot-free. I mean, that's the Messiah who's a Gentile, and that place is already taken because they're building a museum for him. And,
Well,
he's
I
going to
mean,
be.
according to the Talmud, there's three messiahs. So
Oh, there's three? I thought there was only two.
there's
Okay.
three.
Maybe I need to go
I
back
mean,
and read some stuff.
but that just shows that people have no idea to what they're even speaking to.
True.
And again, the propaganda. Somebody sent me sent me something on what the Islamists were going to do. They were going to Americans if we allowed the Muslim takeover of America, and it was first one was pedophilia,
Oh,
which
because they,
was kind of laughable considering
Considering,
the amount of scandals. Well, just the amount of scandals around, Catholicism and Christianity with pedophilia. That was kind of laughable to be like, oh yeah, that's a Islamist thing. That's just reserved for them. So
don't forget
that was the
Epstein.
first. Right. Right.
Epstein was not, Buddhist or
And
Islamist.
right. Right. And the second one was beheadings. There's going to be a lot of beheadings and stuff.
Okay.
Okay. There's millions of them here already. I don't see people losing their heads left and right, even around the mosques and stuff like that. There was, and this kind of goes along with the pedophilia thing, but it was child marriage was on there,
which is
which is
which
legal
legal
in
in
most places in
several
the United
U.S.
States.
states.
is
It's
So
legal,
condoned.
and I would say majority of those situations where it is happening is actually in Christian cults, not
yeah,
not of anything else. So
it's
again,
not really
ignorance.
condoned in Islam anyway. And
Right.
Sharia law basically means God's law, so any God's law. I mean, like, it's the same, God is God. I mean, like, it's God's law, whatever. I mean, so it doesn't really appear to be this monstrous,
And
thing. And I
because
was just
people
telling somebody
manipulate everything.
it
I
is,
would
and
just
and
say no
somebody
one,
just
yeah.
someone just posted recently about how the cultures of different countries have changed, right? So they were like going through different slides, like, Malaysia, 1975, Malaysia. Now, when they all had this, in 1970s, all the girls were wearing whatever. And then, 25, they were all in burqas. And I'm like, you guys really need to learn some history and culture before you post shit like this, because the only country in the world where the burqa is mandatory is Afghanistan. Okay, I mean, that's the Taliban are the only people who make it mandatory. Everybody else, it's a choice. I mean, you want to or not. I mean, I travel through these countries, so I know that not everybody in these countries are wandering around, like covered from head to toe with a little slit for an eye. I mean, it's not the case. So
Well,
saying that
even
going
like,
to come to the US if we allow Muslims to migrate here is totally dumb. I mean, that's
yeah.
not based on any kind of factual evidence at all.
Mhm.
You should be afraid of the people that we are funneling money in the billions to kill other people so they can take over
The
the world,
universe.
which includes you. So, you kind of think along those lines because that's what's going to
Yeah, I
happen.
know we're wrapping up here, but today the House passed the $900 billion of our tax dollars to go fund Ukraine, Middle East, all these other places again. And, America is still struggling. I don't care what Trump says or anybody else, inflation. Oh, yeah, we're just so great now. We're not. My groceries are not cheaper, but we have all this money to dish out. Another $900 billion is going to the Senate to be voted on. Like, what are we doing?
Well, because they take the money from them. So it's going to happen because, that's what it's all about. This is the reason why APEC funds all our politicians. So when it comes to a vote, and I'm just watching, I don't know if you guys have ever seen that. I mean, it's a story of James Garfield. I mean, he was a president,
Mhm.
20th president, I think, of the US, and he's from
Yep.
Ohio. Great story. I mean, Netflix has a 3-part series on it. I mean, these issues, the same issues were there back in the 1800s. I mean,
Yes.
1881,
Mhm.
politics in America was the same as it is today, no difference. So what does that tell you, right? It's the same story,
Well,
different
no.
day. Yeah.
Mhm. Same pattern. It's repeating. It just keeps repeating, and we expect a
Yep.
different outcome.
And we were
There's never
fooled to
going to be a
believe,
different outcome.
I think we got fooled into believing that one person, I mean, he had a great opportunity to do it, was going to change anything, which obviously he's not going to because he's
Well, I
part
told
of the
Trey
whole mic.
this. We were talking about this as like, I would have more respect for Trump right now if he could say, "Man, I got in here and I can't do everything I said I wanted to do because it's just here's why. Here's the corruption. Here's why I can't
Yeah.
do what I need to do. The
Hmm.
politicians here won't vote on my bills I support." Like, I would have more respect for him to come in and be like, I can't keep on my promises. I didn't realize how bad this was.
Yeah, that
That
would
would
have
be
happened.
honesty.
Hmm.
That's all people want. All they want is honesty, but there's none. There's just lies, egotistical manipulation, and even complicity. So
Yeah.
it's too much to ask, I guess.
Yep. Well, we're already past our hour. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Wow. Quickly approaching the Christmas time, and hopefully everybody is almost done with their shopping, or if anybody's like me and at least me, my wife is different, but everybody, I tend to do some last minute stuff. But if everybody's having a good time getting ready for the holidays and everything. But appreciate you guys tuning in, and Andrea for joining us again this week, and we will catch you guys on the next one.
All right. Have a good
Thanks.
day, guys.